What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brian, and for today, so as you can see, I have the who who did I marry lady up, and so I was curious about this because I wanted to see this crazy social media like phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a crazy story, but like what it's doing as far as views, how people are binging the entire thing. As a social media person, it would be absolutely crazy if I didn't at least look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like at least check it out somewhat. So over this weekend, I spent some time watching this thing. I actually watched it with my girl and my girlfriend and my sister and her friend. And y'all, when I tell you this thing is crazy, it's crazy. Like so what I'm gonna do, I don't I did some research to see how much of it I can show and if it's cool because I'm gonna be giving commentary as I go. So I'll be stopping and starting. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna be doing a breakdown. I'm gonna see. I'm testing it out. I don't know what YouTube allows. I think because I'm giving commentary, it's enough. It should be enough, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might have to just do a recording and upload that onto YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. We're about to find out. But again, I'm going to just go. So I opted to skip the intro because the intro is basically just doing what I'm doing right now. So like I was like, we're good. We don't need the intro. Make this bigger. Okay, it looks pretty much the same. So I should probably should I leave the captions on? I don't know. Anyway, let's just get into it. I apologize for the language. It's not my language, it's her language. But I guess if you had what happened to her happen to you, you probably would have very colorful language too. So, with that being said, who TF did I marry? And this is a crazy story.
This is the introduction, so welcome. Part one will be up shortly.
Okay, this is the
Please
first one.
excuse the hair.
So that was her intro. She does like a 10-minute intro, just basically saying, I'm gonna tell my truth. I'm gonna tell my truth. I'm gonna be honest, even if it makes me look bad. I don't care. This is like part therapy, part me just getting it out. So now this is part one. I decided it would be best to just start with part one.
But
And again, I'm going to be stopping and starting partially for I have to add value or else I can get like not in trouble, but you know what I mean? Like I can get a strike. And so that's the whole point too. I just want to share my thoughts because some of this stuff is crazy. And I'm just curious as to what y'all would think or what y'all would have done.
here is part
And again, I apologize for the language. It's not my language, it's her language. But if you went through what she went through.
one of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So I met my ex-husband around March 4th of 2020. We met on Facebook dating site.
First red flag. First red flag. I talked to hundreds of people and I've never met anybody that has had a successful connection found on Facebook. It just that was your first red flag.
And we also matched on Hinge. I did not realize that he was on both under two different names.
Second red flag.
So one was his actual name, and the other one was a variation, like a nickname that he called himself. Different pictures. So it was a running joke between us. Oh, you ain't even recognized that you had matched with me on Hinge. No, I didn't.
Okay, so I was going to ask a question. Having two separate names, is that a big deal? Because one of them was a nickname. Now, I would have said if it would have just been just a nickname and his real name on separate ones, that would be okay. But the fact that he had different photos, it just kind of makes you feel like he was not being like honest, right?
And also that should have been a red flag. By the way, you will notice in this story, I called it the United Nations of red flags. It is so many red flags that, I mean, you would have thought I was colorblind because I ignored all of them. So, anyway. back to the story. We met around March 4th. We exchanged phone numbers. He called me and we talked on the phone for the first time. In the first phone call, he told me that he had just moved to Georgia from California, from San Diego. His job had transferred him because he was being transferred in as the new regional manager for a major condiment company that is based here in Georgia.
I don't know why that part just always makes me laugh. I mean, I imagine if you're a regional manager at like a condiments company, that's a good job, benefits and whatever. But something about that just screams like, nah, nah, this dude ain't real. This ain't real.
I'm not going to say the name. And so
I think
we
it's
also
fine.
talked about
I
his
think you'll do that.
childhood. He told me he grew up in Philly. He's from Philly. Both of his parents were deceased. This is the first phone call. Both of his
That's a
parents
lot.
were deceased. His father was a Philadelphia police officer. His mom was a teacher. He also told me he briefly lived in Augusta with his family. He had two brothers and two sisters. He also
Big
had
family.
two half brothers on his dad's side. First phone call. So I'm just giving you guys the
That's much.
backstory. This was the first phone call we had. So we talked about family. We talked about friends. We talked about our jobs. At the time, I was working at Georgia State Patrol.
It's a long call.
And he knew this and he just thought that was like, wow, so you work with troopers all day. Yes, I did. Also, in that phone call, he explained to me that he used to play football. He explained that he used to play arena football.
Oh gosh. I'm just saying, like, I know it's hard out there. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's really difficult to meet somebody. You know what I mean? Like and it's getting harder by the day. But like somewhere between the regional manager at a condiments company and the former arena football player, I think she might have had enough. You know what I mean? Just err on the side of caution. Like, nah, you know what? No, no, I'm gonna pass.
I know nothing about arena football. I know about NFL. I know about college. Go Dogs. But I don't know anything about arena
Georgia.
football. So he explained to me that he used to play arena football. He used to work at Apple in the off season of arena football.
Also, I don't get like lying like that. Like there's Google. You can easily just Google it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never it just does I don't understand people who just like lie. Do they think people are that lazy?
And I remember thinking on that phone call, oh, okay, like good for you. I don't know anything about arena football. And I believe I did tell him that I don't know anything about arena football. That'll come into play later on. So he told me, I just moved here. My job is paying for my housing, and they are helping me to look for a house. He was like, I'm trying right now. I'm in Gwinnett County, but I'm trying to look for a house, ideally in Atlanta, like Brookhaven, Sandy Springs. He was like, I really would like to move out there.
None of these names mean anything to me.
And so I thought, that's great. You're looking to get a house. You just moved here. He was like, I don't really know too many people here because I spend all my time at work and, this job is really demanding. So that was our first phone call. We
Long phone
talked
call.
more. He talked a lot, which took me by surprise because I'm not really used to men talking more than me. Um,
I believe that.
he eventually asked me out on a date. Our first date was set for Saturday, March 7th, 2020.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. How many was it March 2nd that they started? The 2nd to the 7th? Oh, she tells all these dates. Like you really have to keep a journal. This story is so crazy. And she cites things too. Like, pay attention for this. This will come back later. So, but I don't know. You got to get a journal. I wonder if people are like journaling this, mapping it out.
He asked me what was my favorite restaurant. I said Cheesecake Factory. And
And there's nothing wrong. I love the Cheesecake Factory. It's just so funny how like everything is tied in, you know, after that whole dating thing, the list of don't go or don't take people there on the first date.
So we agreed to go out at the Cheesecake Factory in a location that was in between. I lived in Clayton County at the time. He lived in Gwinnett County. I realized that if you don't know anything about Metro Atlanta, that
Yeah,
makes no sense.
right.
But basically, we lived about 45 minutes apart. So we agreed
Not
to
too bad.
meet at the Cheesecake Factory over at Perimeter Mall, which is in an area, Sandy Springs, Dunwoody area. I was excited. Like I called my friends and was like, I got a date, blah, blah, blah. We'll see how it goes.
Mm.
First conversation was good. Hopefully he looks like his pictures because, that's always an issue with online dating.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully he looks like his pictures.
But super simple, there's a super simple solution for that. You should never get catfished ever in today's time. FaceTime. You gotta, I believe for dating currently, a FaceTime call is a must. It's an absolute must. If I don't FaceTime with the person, I'm not meeting up with them. And sure, they can have somebody pretend to be the person, I guess, but I think you'll be a lot safer if you do FaceTime.
So on my way to our date, I took 285 and literally right before I got to Boulder Crest, the exit for Boulder Crest, I heard a boom and I lost control of my car.
Mm.
Thank God that not thank God, but
No,
I knew
thank
what
God.
to do. So I did not crash,
Yes,
but
thank
my
God.
tire blew out. So I called him and I said, hey, I'm so sorry, but my tire just blew on 285. I'm slowly making my way off the exit. I believe I pulled into a Chevron gas station. And I said, I got to get this fixed. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm a damsel in distress kind of thing.
So
He
fast.
kind of paused. He got quiet and he was like, tell me exactly where you are. Drop your pin.
Mm.
So I dropped the pin and he came to the gas station.
Okay, now I'm a nice guy. I'm a gentleman. So I probably would have had the same response, but like at the same time, if I guess this question is mostly for the guys. If a woman that you're supposed to go on a date with hits you up and's like, "Hey, uh, my tire just blew," would you think she's blowing you off? Because maybe I'm too cynical because I would have felt like, oh, she's trying to blow me off. She doesn't want to do the date. So I guess he did just say, well, let me do the pin, and she did, so it was fine. Everything worked out. But I think I would have probably felt like, she's blowing me off. I'm curious. What do y'all think?
Came to the gas station, got out the car, and I was so relieved that he actually looked like his pictures that I was like, oh my God, he's actually attractive.
Okay, so like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, go look up this guy, and I'm just like, what is she talking about? Who is she looking at? But she's about to tell you why she thinks he's attractive, and this is it's such a thing with women today.
Because he's like 6'4", 6'5".
Oh, oh, 6'4", 6'5". Come on.
Um, oh, also, man, I apologize. So let me go back to the first conversation. Let me add something. He did tell me in the first phone call that he was divorced, and that his ex-wife, she had two children, a boy and a girl, who were teenagers, young adults. I think the girl was about 20. And he said that he had a very close relationship with his stepkids,
Still?
but that he and his ex-wife had divorced because she cheated on him out in California. And so coming to Georgia was a new beginning for him. She was still out in California. The kids were still out in California.
So all these people that they're talking about, by the way, you can like go on YouTube and they all have made like response videos. The kids have made a response video. The ex-wife has made a response video. The ex-husband, the guy that she's talking about now, he's made a response video. These people look even crazier than they seem in the story. You absolutely have to go Google. You have to go through this thing a little bit, but be careful because once you start like looking up videos that are talking about this or responses, there's spoilers. and so you'll get spoiled. And it's better if you just let it go through like naturally.
Yeah. And so, he was like, there's no, I can't stand her, but I still want to be in the kids' lives. I have to put that in there because that will come back later.
See, that's how she does it. She tells you like this will come back later. It's really crazy how it's amazing how she's telling this story because it seems very planned. I mean, but at the same time, it seems very organic and free flowing too. It's really weird, man. It's like it's going to be studied
So
in class.
this is just setting the stage. Again, that first conversation was, we talked about family, job, friends, how he ended up in Georgia, me being in Georgia, the things that, I would think people talk about in the first conversation. All right, now back to the tire blew out. So he shows up to the gas station. He changes my tire, which I just thought was the sexiest thing in the world. And then he proceeds to say, "Hey, I found a tire place around the corner. You need to get another tire. Like, you can't drive on this donut."
Right.
So he followed me to, um, the tire place, and then helped me get a tire, paid for it.
Oh my gosh.
So I was definitely like, wow. And so the vibe was good. So anyway, I get the tire fixed. We follow each other to the Cheesecake Factory over in Perimeter. We hold hands walking into the Cheesecake Factory. So
Bam, that's a lot. All right. And I'm not giving any advice. I'm just saying unless she said something about being low on funds or like stressed or like, she didn't have it and she was like panicked. I don't know what if I be offering to buy somebody a tire that I haven't even had a date with. I don't even know this person. Also, I don't know if I would be accepting like money from somebody that I haven't even started dating for real, for real. You know what I mean? And then y'all holding hands. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know how many conversations they had. Maybe they just really felt like the vibe and the energy was on point. But it seems like they are on that gas pedal heavy.
in my mind, I'm like, this is just this. Oh my God, I had butterflies. That's the look of a woman who had butterflies. So I had butterflies.
Because he bought her a tire.
And
And he was
we go in, there's a long wait. And so we sit outside and we just talk.
nice.
And the conversation's great. And this is where he tells me what it is he's looking for. He tells me, I believe at the time he was 42. He was like, I want to get married and it be for real. He's like, my parents were married 40 plus years before my mom passed away. And I want that. I want marriage, family, a house. Like, that is what I want. He's like, I'm as a man, I'm ready to get married, but I want it to be for real because
I think this is good. I think you should have this conversation. Maybe not on the first date. Maybe have some fun first before you get like serious. I mean, you don't want to waste time for sure. But I think, man, maybe have a date or two that's just fun, just focused on the energy and the vibe, and then have this conversation. You don't need to have more than 2 dates with somebody if you guys are not on the same page.
that's the first time, it really hurt me when she cheated on me. So he's telling me everything that I wanted to hear. And so he was like, what is it that you want?
Right.
And I said pretty much the same thing. I was like, I'm ready to get married. Definitely want to have a family.
Yep.
And
It's surprising how a lot of people don't want that anymore. Like kids or a family. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just like you would when I grew up, I remember everybody wanted like the family. It seemed that way, I should say. And nowadays it feels like people are like, no, there's other makeups of family. It's like we can be just dating, coexist, cohabitate, and then have a couple of pets or a pet. And that's cool with people. And then there's like, yeah, so it's interesting that like it seems like nowadays that's not the goal as much as it used to be.
I want to marry my best friend. So we both put on the table that we wanted marriage. And this is the end of part 1.
Okay, so that's part 1. That's part one, and I'm gonna stop uh, for today. So I'm going to, and the reason why I want to stop is because I'm going to upload this onto YouTube. I'm going to see how it does. I think that I should be cool because I've been adding, but this series is crazy, and hopefully I'm able to go and give you my reaction to it because it gets wild. Like I cannot explain to you. I'm already on episode 21 out of 50. Just the fact that there's 50 episodes is already wild enough. But this thing gets crazy. I'm new, so I'll keep it up. Yo, I'm gonna yo, I'm so hopefully I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna post it. If everything goes well, I'll start in every day doing like 2 or 3 reactions to these videos because I'm telling you they are hilarious. They are wild and it's so much fun. So you can check it out by yourself too without my commentary. But for those of you who want that, check it out. Thank you for being at the live. Appreciate y'all, and I will catch y'all later. Be sure to like and follow if that's what's appropriate, or subscribe if that's what's appropriate. Peace.